And you got Wrestle Dream this Saturday. Rhodesia talking about, we do have a lot to talk about. Granted, we got a lot going on, but she's like, we do have a lot to talk about.
Y'all miss me?
Hey, look, we got so much to talk about today. We getting right to it.
Answer the damn question.
Yes, we missed you, Rhodesia. I didn't miss you.
I missed y'all.
Okay. We get right to it. I know on the audio side, the theme music is still playing. Okay. On the video side, you guys are just watching us right now. Thank y'all and love all y'all who tap in with us, connect with us. We appreciate you guys. Y'all know that. And usually I do like to start with like a cold question, right? We get right into it, or maybe we just start having conversations. And we've been talking for a half hour just about life before we press record. But we got to get right to it. There is so much to talk about from this week. We got a lot that we won't even get a chance to get to. Our apologies to AEW for Wrestle Dream. I am going to be watching that this Saturday. I am excited for it.
It hasn't happened yet.
I don't think we got time to talk about that. Apologies to TNA. Outside of me asking a question about some things about their TV deal toward the end of this pod, we can't talk about their last pay-per-view, which was all over social media, which is a positive. So our apologies to them. And my apologies also to anything else outside of probably SmackDown, Crown Jewel, and Monday Night Raw. We just ain't got time. We won't get to it now, though. And we got to start, E. We kind of talked about it a little bit. Oh, also, hey, episode 221. Well, That's Freakin Wrestling. Welcome to the TFW podcast. That is E. I just shouted out. Y'all heard Rhodesia already. I am Matt. We got to get right to it. We missed last week, so I'm putting up 45 on this podcast. E already upset. E was sending text messages earlier. E said he don't want to go more than an hour 30. Damn it, we going longer than an hour 30. We going at least an hour and 42 minutes on this podcast. We tried to get Brandon on. That would have took us to 2.5 hours. E wasn't having it. So he shut that shit down. So here we go. Let's get right to it. But the big story that I think that nobody saw coming. Not this early anyway. Okay, we knew it would happen. But if you said to me before SmackDown came on Friday, we were going to get this, I would have said, like, you're lying. You making up shit. WWE has, at this point, really kind of like, I think, done the unthinkable with doing this. Eshaun, Rhodesia, they've priced out Green Shirt Guy.
I thought you was about to talk about the turn.
They have priced out
Kool-Aid
Green
Shirt Man.
Shirt Guy.
When
you price out Green Shirt Guy, they had SmackDown on Friday, Crown Jewel on Saturday, Monday Night Raw on Monday in Perth, Australia. And when Green Shirt Guy can't make it to any of those shows,
well, what if he had a prior engagement?
When has he ever had a prior engagement over UE Wrestling? Never.
That
man has missed funerals. He's missed weddings. Shit. He's missed graduations. He's missed the birth of his kids to go to these wrestling shows. But now all of a sudden you gonna tell me he had a prior engagement?
I mean, you just never know. Hopefully he's okay himself.
TKO, do better. Do better. E, you sent us something. And this is what we're going to start with. Of course, we're going to start with Seth Rollins and the Vision. But E, you sent something, I think today, or maybe yesterday, about Ridge Holland. And I don't know if you was joking when you brought it up and saying it was a big deal. Because I do have thoughts on it. Do you want to hit that real quick? Or were you joking when you said big deal?
Hey, all respect to that man. Hope he lands on his feet. I'm surprised he still work with the company, to be honest with you. I was joking. I didn't know he still was in the company. We done lost a couple of them before we got to Ridge, man. But like a lot of information is coming out about Ridge currently. He's he didn't get cut and he didn't get fired. His contract is not being renewed. I think there's a difference. His contract is not being renewed. However, they are also paying for his rehab. That's supposed to go until 6 months. So, I'm not sure when his contract is up. But it sounds like it's going to be up well before he'll be cleared to go back into the ring. I think he has 5 mouth speed, he said, so it doesn't come at a good time. And then we found out today that he didn't get extra pay for his TNA appearances when he got injured. So, it sounds like, people are kind of upset with TKO in regards to this. But, I mean, I'm just going to turn it over to y'all real quick. I just was joking. I didn't think it was that big a deal. And that was no disrespect to the man at all. I actually thought he got released some time ago. But TKO is a business. Like, they are a business. And unfortunately, everybody, corporate does not care about us. I don't know why we think TKO should care about everybody's a number. Man, look, Matt, Rhodesia, we talked about life earlier, man. Here's the thing about, like, corporation and work, right? I remember about 10 years ago, we would get on these millennials about job hopping, and we would say all these things about them, and, they're not loyal, and they're not responsible, and all these different things. And, I honestly, and I guess because we're right there, I think we just missed it, right? So I understood the philosophy. I'm like, look, back in the day, our parents will work for one company, right, for their entire life, right? And they will work, they get out of high school, whatever, and they'll work their way up. They'll work to tooth and nail, right? And they will put money and prioritize money and work over their families, right? They will work all this overtime, right? So whereas now these younger generations are coming out and they're like, yo, there's more to life than just money and work. Like, right. And somebody said a long time ago, like, look, you don't put your profession over your real priorities, which is your family and your life. Like, right. So at this point, honestly, man, look, a job is a job. They don't care about you, right? They're only loyal to a point. Right. So we should be that way as well. So we should not be surprised that TKO is not renewing this man's contract, and they're not paying him to rehab. I mean, they're not extending his. They're not going to pay him. Yeah, while he's healing. Like,
so that is what I want to talk about.
Would that happen to us?
So that part right there, of course, Ridge Holland being released is not a big deal. We may not even have touched on it if it was only that piece of it. We've seen so many releases in wrestling over the last few years. Like, if we were to talk about every wrestler released, that's our entire show. What I do, though, and you hit it. I mean, so we don't have to deep dive it, but I think that's absolute bullshit that guy got hurt on your watch for a show that you booked for him on TNA. And I don't care that he didn't get paid extra, because I don't know exactly how everybody's contracts is set up, but okay, that's just one of your dates, right? Or that's whatever. But for him to have hurt himself under somebody's umbrella and watch, we know TNA has a working relationship with WWE. It's under WWE's watch. So for them to let him go where he can't provide for his family, but we'll pay for your rehab. Great. And I know that this is the life they chose, but paying for my rehab is not helping me put food on the table per se. Hopefully he has savings. To me, that's not about that. To me, this is about decency, to where if somebody gets hurt, you do not release somebody while they're hurt. Extend their contract. We've seen them extend contracts before. Extend his contract until he gets the clear and then release him. But for them to be making so much money right now, billions of dollars a year, and for them to release any of their talent while they're hurt, I think that's just nasty, nasty ass business.
It's evil. That's what it comes down to, is evil. And unfortunately, we see too much that when things is driven by money, greed comes in play. Then now things is just immoral. Now it's evil and all of that stuff. The reason why I don't like money is because of those factors. Money has a very important part in our lives. It gets us and buys us certain things. It affords us a certain livelihood. But the moment that it becomes that next step of just greed, that's when it becomes evil. Like, I hope Rich Holland has an attorney. And of course, his attorneys would not compare to what TKO attorneys have on retainer. But that's just not right. I would think that he would have some type of like legal action that he can take against them. Even though he's a 1099 contractor, he should still be able to say, hey, you put me at this risk. No, I don't have workers' comp like a traditional employee, but there should be something else that I should be getting here. And if not, like I said, that's just purely evil. I wish the best for Rich Holland. I also thought that he was no longer with the company as well. When a couple years ago when he had some issues about possibly injuring somebody. I think that kind of just took. Okay, it was Big E. I think that it was like a pivotal moment for him as far as like the fans like rooting behind him and essentially caring about him. But that's just pure evil. And that's the reason why I do not put that kind of power on money at all. And what E was talking about as far as the millennials, that has always been the millennials. I'm a millennial. Matt would tell you, if I'm at a place of business, place of work, and I don't like it, you don't deserve me.
Rhodesia's
You're just not going to have me.
Rhodesia's resume is as long as her full name. Anybody who knows Rhodesia's full name knows that shit goes, of course, every corner of her ID. That shit is so long. That is how long her resume is.
But it's true.
You don't say hi to Rhodesia properly at a job. Rhodesia's like, I'm out. What's next?
But that's fair, because when I come, I'm giving you my all that I'm willing to give. God, me, my family is my priority. That's the Trinity for me.
Yep.
Then work. Forget all that. But what happened was, and I'm a millennial, so I would say then you're Gen Xers. COVID happened, and I might say something that's very insensitive, and I apologize wholeheartedly if I do. But this was one of the silver linings of COVID, at least in the United States. Opened up people's eyes about what was important to them. When the corporate America was able to still figure out making money in business by having people work from home, and most people like working from home. Some people say I couldn't do it, it's cabin fever, boom, boom. But they finally realized, wait, hold on. We are working like hamsters on a treadmill, on the little hamster wheel. For what? You cut pensions. And see, now I'm about to get angry right now. So the generation,
don't get hot, pal.
the X's,
we got it.
the boomers, they have a pension. They have a pension. We don't have that anymore. We hopefully have Social Security by the time we retire. But that's neither here nor there in this argument. But the point is, these people, TKO, appears to be nothing but greedy, money hungry, and in this case here, evil people. Now, again, maybe they're not evil in a sense because it's just business, but at a point, we are still human.
Well, it shows they don't have a heart, right? It's heartless.
Exactly.
Is what it is. Because you're posting up billions, like I said, they're making billions of dollars. There should be no reason why you're not. And like, it's Ridge Holland. If you look at it just from a talent perspective, he should be looked at as the same way as anybody else. They got hurt, pay him till they get done, and then release him day one after he gets cleared.
So you pay him his normal salary for the 6 months.
Yep.
That's what they would spend one weekend on a yacht. Like, what are we really talking about here?
That is it.
The money they would pay him would be nothing. A penny into their piggy bank.
But it ain't just TKO. I always say, man, it's like all of them. Big money corporations, man, are disgusting. So that's why I say, man, look, the millennials who prioritize themselves and their lives over, that's what you should do, because they at any moment, like they can, like what's the word, like you're expendable.
Expendable.
Right. At any moment, right? Ridge Hollins, okay, look, we've demoted you to NXT numerous times. We don't see a future in you. Right. We're not going to extend your money. Yep. Like, right? Unfortunately, that happens all the time. We were talking about like your girl Kylie Ray.
Yeah.
Like, right? They didn't renew her WWE ID deal, right? And I don't think she was making that much money on the deal. The woman's pregnant.
Yeah. I think something's going on with that too, because a few people didn't get renewed. I wonder if like that situation is quietly going away, because that just doesn't make sense. E, you brought up you said something to remind me of Sylvester Stallone. What did you just say? You said
Expendables, yeah.
Oh, Expendables. I was thinking about the Sylvester Stallone movie. So I watched the Sylvester Stallone movie on the airplane a few days ago. And next week we're going to talk about our Spain trip. We got some really exciting stuff to share with you guys, but we got too much to talk about today to do it. But next week, I promise. This movie he had with Robert De Niro. It's a boxing movie. Can't remember the name of it. Google it. And it was basically about two old fighters, and they fought 30 years ago. They're both retired as of now, like how they look now. And one more fight. I was up in the air. I had a couple of tears coming down my eyes at the end of that movie. I'm getting so soft in my older age, man. But like any man, if you've seen this movie,
Grudge Match,
you already know what I'm talking about. And it's a thing where like it probably only hits men like that. I don't know if a woman probably cried, but I would have to assume there's been a few guys who shedded a couple of tears on that Sylvester Stallone, Robert De Niro movie. Watch that. I highly recommend it. The movie was cool. Right? If you like Rocky, it's right in your lane, your wheelhouse, but they did something at the end. I was like, no, they got me.
Hey, I'm gonna share something like random, which I was talking about crying. I don't cry typically on movies or about things in general, to be honest with you. But anime, man, anime get me, man. I've cried a bunch of times actually during anime. I'm like, that's the only thing, man. Like I can watch these shows. Maybe because the anime is like they focus on like character building. So you know, you fall in love with these characters, you care about their stories, and you're trying to they go really in detail with it. So when something happened that's tragic, it's like, man, you care about these characters, and then all of a sudden something pop off, you be like, well, me at least, man. I don't know what it is about anime.
Ain't no different than if you crying with a Marvel movie, right? Same thing. Yeah, like yours is animation. Yeah. But
I don't know about
mine's is rom-coms. Mine's rom-coms. Right?
Well, you cry over.
I cried 3 times today.
Yeah.
Hey, last day of vacation is still a vacation. That's all I gotta say.
Rhodesia, are you into the Meg Ryan movies? Did you ever see any of those?
Yeah, I saw them. Yeah, but I mean, she hasn't put out anything really.
She hasn't put anything in there. Yeah, but those are the only rom-coms that I can sit through. Wow. And I told Katrina, I'm like, you know what? I think this weekend we're gonna watch some Meg Ryan movies. It's funny you said that.
I'm telling you, no, that's, I mean, different level rom-coms. In this new age of rom-coms with Netflix, literally it's the same formula. You just cut and paste the actual character. Same story, same plot.
Hallmark, right?
Yeah, but even on, right, exactly. But with a better budget, it actually looks better. So you got a nice television, you got some good, like an OLED or something like that. A Netflix movie would be amazing. Hallmark, because this is regular TV. But the plots are so stupid, but every time I am boohoo crying. I cried 3 times today because guess what? I watched 3 rom-coms today.
So you said, perfect segue. We get to the wrestling now. Get to the wrestling. You said the same formula.
Mm-hmm.
And WWE has been on fire. They've been on a heater since Friday SmackDown. Seriously, they really have. SmackDown was fantastic. Crown Jewel, I thought, was, if you had a problem with WrestlePalooza, you should be screaming from the rooftops about how good Crown Jewel was. And then Monday Night Raw was really good too. This is why it's okay to tell these wrestling companies when they feed us bullshit that is bullshit. There are so many fans out there who are scared to hold these companies' feet to the fire. When it sucks, let them know it sucks. Word came out sometime, I think maybe Thursday or Friday. I don't know. I wasn't on my phone like that while we were gone, but I do know word came out about SmackDown that Road Dogg's still going to be head writer, but they're bringing in new faces and new voices to get the show better. Whoever fucking wrote SmackDown, kudos, keep writing SmackDown. SmackDown was great. But overall, man, 2 thumbs way up this past weekend with WWE. Of course, I didn't think this would be the lead story. Lead story, guys, has to be the Vision breaking up and Seth Rollins' injury.
Yeah.
Let's tackle the only reason why the Vision broke up is because of Seth Rollins' injury. So we probably got to talk more about the injury than, the breakup. And we can, of course, talk about what we want to see after what we saw on Monday night. But looks like Seth legit hurt himself during that Cody Rhodes match.
I'm telling you, I said to you, I don't know if it was his shoulder or his arm. It could be a leg issue. But I just remember toward the end of that match, I think they were on the outside. And it was his left arm shoulder looked it kind of like limp. And I'm like, ooh, what? And then when he when he was putting championship up and all that stuff, it was kind of labored, but you could tell that he was trying not to make it look too labored. Mm-hmm. I'm like, is he really messed up over there? And then with the telltale sign was when H went and hugged him. Now, I know you said they embraced once already, but I guess the second embrace. It was like he was stiff and like he couldn't even put his arms around him. So I was like, oh, shoot.
So the word is, and it's preliminary, but the word is he hurt himself on the coast to coast move, which was an excellent move during the match. But I just, this is like the selfish part of being a fan. It's like, man, I hope you were hurt before that. Mm-hmm. Because like you didn't have to do that move. And when he hit, I was like, damn, he got it. He still got it. Like, that's a crazy ass move to try to hit. So for him to hurt himself in that move where you say, okay, just don't do that move. Right? But they're saying rotator cuff and he may be getting surgery soon. But the plan of the Vision breaking up was not supposed to be. It was strictly done because of this injury here. But so get well, of course, to Seth. It was funny because I was ready to come on here, and just talk about how him and Cody did the damn thing and good for Seth finally getting that moment you could tell him beating Cody meant something to him before he hit that, top rope or second rope stomp at the end. He kind of took it in a little bit. And that's a real moment, like from a storyline perspective of everything they put in for him just never being able to beat Cody and what that looked like and all of it. I was like, man, hell yeah, good for Seth. So for us to find out we go from good to Seth Rollins is potentially about to have surgery and going to have to relinquish his championship title. It's like, damn, that is crazy. But what's your guys' thoughts about, I guess, really just him potentially looks like a shoot injury? Of course, a lot of people on social media was like, you're not catching me again. You're not getting me again.
I need to see x-rays.
Yeah,
that's
I think
timestamped.
You say you need to be in the
in
the surgery room?
Yes, because I don't believe it. Get well soon. Like, for real, Seth, you've been doing some of the best work that you've ever done. And I've always thought you did good work, but you have absolutely been my QB1. I guess maybe WWE's QB2 behind Cody. But fantastic match. Coast to coast again was amazing. Like, I've never even seen anything quite like that. I remember it might have been Shane. He used to coast to coast with his feet into a chair. Somebody did that, but Shane is in my head, but he would never go from like the diagonal to diagonal like that. So how far he reached, I was like, that's out of this world. And to know that was the one that potentially caused an injury sucks so bad, because I got such a moment out of it. So I'm gonna always be like, damn, that was so amazing. But then it's like, I feel guilty feeling so excited about that, because we know that is where he possibly injured himself. But well wishes soon. You've been doing the most absolute best work that you can. I thought originally when they broke up that this was way too early, way too soon. We see why. At this point, we can just keep moving forward. And the Braun, I feel like, is going to take off, and they are feeling it. The fans is feeling it. Even Heyman out there is feeling it. That Bronson Reed, I just don't think anybody thought that he would be at this level. I think people knew he was going to be good, but just welcomed by the fans.
No, we're going to talk about that. Save all that.
Okay.
We're going to deep dive that. We're going to deep dive Roman and Bronson. We're going to talk about that.
I will say Seth Rollins being gone, no one ever wants to be gone, especially when it's about to just kick off even higher. He has left that main, what they call it, B card, A- card spot in good hands, especially under the supervision of Paul Heyman. So I'm excited to see how they go with the storyline. Get well soon, Seth.
Yeah, I want to say the night it happened, speaking of the actual pay-per-view, PLE, someone mentioned that Steph seemed like he was laboring, that he might have injured himself, and they think it might have been that spot particularly. I was like, wow, right? Hope not. Hope he's good. So I actually was online because I forgot that Raw was being taped so early in the day. So I was online checking or something like that, and I saw the video, I saw the turn, and I'm like, man, they're doing this way too early. Like, right, this is way too early. Then I'm like, damn, that must have been a legit injury, and this is their kind of way of kind of getting them off the show.
So you got spoiled.
I definitely got spoiled.
Damn.
Yep. I had no idea.
Sucks, man.
That Raw was on that early. So, and that was like one of my feeds. I think because I don't listen. I don't usually look at the for you. I look at the other one, and I think Frightful is the one that spoiled. I think that was one of the top feeds. It was that video of Bronson turning on Seth. And so when it happened, I'm like, man, that's way too quick. Now, shit, Seth must really be injured. And this is their way of writing them out. I'm like, damn. Like, right? And I'm thinking, because at first in my mind, because this is all happening like a matter of seconds, I'm like, man, this is way too early. Like, what's going to happen? I thought we needed to get that Seth in that Roman match. Like, this is going to mucky that up. Like, because now, Seth's going to be going after the Browns and Heyman. And, so that's going to derail his match with Roman. And if he's going after the Vision, he's going to have to be babyface. Well, Roman's a babyface right now. So now that match is going to look weird unless they're going to turn Roman again. I'm like, this is all happening in my mind in like a matter of seconds. I'm like, wait a minute. He must really be injured. I'm like, damn, he's injured. Like, how long is he going to be injured that they have to pull the trigger this quickly? I'm like, ooh, shit. Is he going to be out until Mania or before Mania? Like, so a lot of things are going in my head when I saw all of this happening. Man, think about like the potential stories that we're not going to have because of this, man. So you think about it like early on, like this has happened within 24 hours that they pulled the trigger this early, right? To kind of totally rework and rewrite things for this angle. It has to be pretty bad. So I hope he can, get healed quickly. I guess I'm excited to see where they take all of this because, there was some rumblings where Austin Theory was potentially going to be
What the hell was that about,
the
man?
group. Like, right?
Hey, that's the Rhodesia rumors. That's what I had right
What the
there.
hell was that about?
Him in there. So it's interesting to see where they take it. Like, right? Because we'll get there, right? But the two Browns and Heyman, it seemed like they're still missing a piece. I guess, you're going to elevate, Brian Steiner. And I love that Scott Steiner came on there and he dropped that hella tweet, like displaying everything. And, he did it. And so it made so much sense. I will pull it up right now. It would take too long. But Scott Steiner broke it down for us so we understand why Brian did what he did. But I feel like they're still missing a piece in that vision. And I'm curious now how they're going to pivot to War Games. 'Cause I thought we were going to have a nice little War Games match set up, right? So now that's going to be kind of wonky how they're going to do that and who's going to be a participant. So
you may just have to pivot. And
but
it's
here's the thing too on that. And I know we're going to get there, but it was something very interesting that Roman said to the twins, I don't want to see you to Christmas. Yeah, so by him saying that
he was telling San Diego, I'm not showing up to War Games.
That's the point that I'm getting at. Yeah. We know Roman's not going to be at War Games.
So you guys both hit on some things. A couple quick things on writing is so important, right? In wrestling, you got to have the character, you got to have the person to pull it off. But if you're not writing correct, it doesn't matter. Like, shout out to WWE for finally listening to us and not having Jacob Fatu on fucking record with his two catchphrases. He didn't hit either one of them. That makes him more believable and more of a regular person. Thank you for that.
Oh, no, he hit him.
No, he didn't. Not on SmackDown. In that backstage segment.
That was his outro.
Oh, I must have missed
his outro. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
That was his outro.
Take it back then. All right, renege that. But I say that to talk about like Braun Breaker. After he hit that spear, and I got a hot take about Braun's spear too. We will save that for like next week's show. Spoiler alert.
I'm gonna write it down.
It's nowhere near as good as people are acting like it is, and I'll explain why. But he hit a very great spear on Seth Rollins. That's how a spear should always look. And him just going up to Bronson and Heyman and just saying, either you're with me or you're not. Instantly, more credibility and more of a badass than what we've seen from him over the last few months. And that is something that was super easy to do. But yeah, it sucks, man. It sucks that they have to. Now, I know I'm also in the minority in this. I'm glad they were breaking up. I hate this had to do with Seth. But I've said for a while, I didn't think that group was clicking. And outside of this weekend, where Seth had that tremendous backstage promo with Paul Heyman on Raw Monday, and then Heyman had his backstage promo with the Bronsons, and the Brons on SmackDown. I just think they kind of had just been there. Of course, they would have gone to the next level at this point now. Bronson beats Roman. Seth beats Cody. Like, okay, now we're taking it to the next level. But it sucks for me of where they were going next with Seth Rollins. I'm sure I wasn't the only person who thought about John Cena when he cut that promo at the end of the show and was talking about how now he's the greatest of all time. Nobody can beat him. I thought about John Cena.
I thought about him only because when he said greatest of all time, I thought of GOAT. That was the only, but I didn't even actually think that they would wrestle, even if he wasn't hurt or anything. I mean, I never thought about that in that regard. I just thought of John Cena.
I did, and I was just like, okay, I don't know if they have enough time to just even do that match. So then my mind went to where I think we were going to go to anyway, and that is Brock Lesnar. Well, I beat the GOAT. I'm the GOAT. Seth Rollins. There's your Paul Heyman connection. There is potentially your War Games connection with now somehow them tagging or whatever that would have looked like. But he was really heavy-handed in that promo at the end of Crown Jewel about the GOAT and stuff. And there's nobody else who would be calling themselves that at this point in the game. So that's the kind of stuff. It's like, no, well, can this feud please end? I
thought it was over.
Man, Punk wins again. Like, all right, I'm over this feud. Great feud.
It's never gonna be over.
Dog.
He says it's never gonna be over.
That's never gonna be over.
It's Groundhog's Day.
And now they got to figure something out with that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know if you just have Seth relinquish it and then they do a number one contenders match and the number one contender takes on Punk. I don't, like they got some things to work out. I am sure they'll figure it out. They got way too much talent on Raw for them to like botch this. I'm not too much worried about that. But so
Question
Vision
for
now.
you.
Yeah.
Real quick before you go into Vision, have they announced the November PLE as War Games?
Yeah.
They did. Okay.
Yep. They announced when tickets went on sale. It was War Games.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So you said the Vision.
Yeah. So just what do you guys want to see out of this? Is there anything now that you see that Seth has gotten destroyed, but we know he's not coming back? Heyman has co-signed, so he's still with them outside of another member. What do you guys want to see? Is the end game now Braun being heavyweight champion, and that's the end game of this? Is it something else? Like, what is it?
I think it's somewhere in the middle of that. When it must have been SmackDown, yeah, when the Paul Heyman thing had his conversation backstage with the Bronze. I did think that Seth was actually going to lose. If I had a bet, I was going to say there was a 51% chance that Seth was going to lose just by how that seed was planted. So I'm like, okay, so now I was starting to envision, no pun intended, the Brownies now being their own group. We've seen that Triple H doesn't do that great of a job with male tag teams right now in the last year and a half. But I think that they might be a little bit different than that. Not saying that they are beyond that, because we also thought Jay and Jimmy, well, Jay was already beyond being a tag team competitor. But I think that the vision for the two of them, the Brownies and Heyman, I was actually looking forward to that being like the new next steps of this whole storyline. And it was only because how the seed was planted on SmackDown with Paul Heyman. So I was actually looking forward to it, and I wasn't like, I don't know how that's going to look. So for me, I guess they were clairvoyant in that moment by planting that seed, and now here we are. I want to kind of see both of them being what's the AOP? What AOP should have been. Now, AOP was always going to be mid-carders. I get that. But just like the dominant presence when they came around, what AOP should have been.
That was a hell of a pull. That was a hell of a pull. I thought you was going to say maybe like Road Warriors.
Remember,
like
I have until Christmas to talk about
this
Road
motherfucker
Warriors.
went with the
Okay, should I go with
I
can go with what you call it. I can go with the Ascension. I can go with the Ascension. Bring it back to episode 1. I can talk about the Ascension. Would you like me to talk about them?
No, we got it.
Okay.
No, we don't want that. Yeah, I had to come off mute. No, we have to please.
Victor and Connor. They didn't have a mouthpiece, but here we go.
We are so good. We are so good with that. Real quick before we get to and like you guys tell me if you're good with just kind of hitting Crown Jewel like from the top. We don't have to hit every single match like deep, but there was a lot that happened that I know fans of the pod would like to hear what we got to say. But you did mention SmackDown, Rhodesia, and I do have a question for both of you. What was more surprising that happened on SmackDown? There's really, to me, 3 big surprises. Number 1, the return of Tama Tonga. Had the face paint, had to walk, had the swag that I remember from MJPW. Was it Zelina? Has it been paired with Aleister Black? And I love that.
That rhymes.
Or was it Sami Zayn actually got a good match out of Shinsuke Nakamura in the Lord and Savior's year of 2025?
I think all 3 are really great contenders. And what was you said most surprising? Is that what the word you used? Most surprising, I would probably say. I like Shinsuke. I think that he could still go in the ring. He's older, but I think he can still go in the ring. So I'm going to eliminate him right away. I'm going to go with the return of Tama Tonga. But if you honestly asked me or told me that this was just his first week back, I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool to know. So I guess it's really not that surprising, but I would just say because he came in face paint and that caused a whole uproar in like the internet world. Zelina being partner with Aleister Black, I'm happy to see that, but that wasn't that surprising for me because we see that they're allowing people to talk about their relationships. So let's go with Tama Tonga returning. Now, is he the one to go, or no? Is that the other guy? Okay.
No, that's him.
Yeah, let's go.
Hey, real quick before I answer this question, I did some pop in my mind when we're talking about division.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we haven't seen Gunther in a while, and I don't know if we're gonna get to it on this show, but no, there's a scuttlebooty that Gunther might be John Cena's final opponent.
Let's talk about it. Talk about it.
But before I got to that, I just thought about something in my mind. I'm like, you know what? You know who would be a perfect replacement for Seth?
Oh, give me a second to think. Jose, don't say it yet. What show are they on right now? Are they on a show?
Actually, I just got finished saying Gunther.
No,
see, I want them alone at this point.
You think he can everybody kind of can talk. But I was going to say he can cut his own promo. I think his style is different than what Bronze is. And so is like Seth, but like Seth is somebody who would come across it like he needs the monster, right? He needs that backup. Gunther don't need no damn backup. He is the backup.
But you think about with Seth, so like I don't know where the story was going. Well, I kind of do know. Well, I think the story was going with Seth. Seth beat Cody on his own. He didn't need help. Mm-hmm. Like, right? That was the plan. Right? So he has already proven that he doesn't need the help. Like, right? He's already proven that he can stand on his own. Right? So I think some of the verbiage from his promo was going to be there regardless or not. He's kind of proven that, right? And you think about Seth, like, right, with the loud suits, and he's taller than the rest of them too, right? Gunther's tall as well, but with the loud suits and like kind of the overtop personality, he kind of stood out. To whereas the Browns on the side of him were very menacing, right? You put Gunther in there with the black suits, all business, serious about hurting people, and then you got the Browns on the other side, like already in all black. You know what I'm saying? Paul Heyman in black. You know what I'm saying? Giving the Gunther another dimension, I think would be phenomenal. But however, your boy Uncle Dave, and I thought about it, like, and I know there's some fans out there, they don't like when people say Uncle Dave. I just think it's funny and stupid. Like, I don't think of him as my uncle. I don't know the dude.
You're not really calling him your uncle?
Yeah, he ain't my uncle. I just think it's weird. I think it's a funny name. But your boy Uncle Dave was like, the vision was never about Seth Rollins. He said the vision was always about Brian. Like, and getting him over in the future. Not so soon, like, right? But always get him over to make him potentially the next Roman Reigns for the WWE, right?
Well, hell yeah. But wouldn't everybody say that? Everybody would agree with that, right?
I would think
sure.
So.
But now with this pivot, right, with Seth being out, and if the story was always to make Brian the next man, I don't know if it makes sense to put another leader in front of him. Mm-hmm. It probably would make more sense at this point, right, to send him now, right, and then put some other pieces around him. But I just thought in my mind, like, man, like if they wanted to take Seth out and put another de facto leader in and keep kind of Brian where he was positioned to kind of continue that storyline. I mean, I don't know what they got planned for Gunther, but this would be a perfect opportunity for him.
Well, and that's the thing too, right? Like with Braun hitting that line of either you're with me or you're not. He's the leader now.
Yeah.
You can still slow walk it. I'm not saying you got to put the title on him now next month. If the plan was, we talked about it months ago. Hey, I think they're leading this toward Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. And I think both of you, I know E, you were like, man, that's way too soon. I think that was the plan. So you can still, if you wanted to wait, I don't know if you can still wait to April now, but you don't have to do it next month. Is my point. If you want to wait until December and do it, hell, if you want to do it on the same show John Cena retires on, right, to just really pump that show up. If you want to do it at Royal Rumble, you can do that there. I know you didn't see it, E. So Rhodesia, I'll ask you. We were watching Raw last night. Did you see that turn coming?
I don't want to talk out of both sides of my neck. I didn't see the turn coming in that way. But from that SmackDown backstage thing, I had already thought that this is going to be the time where the Brownies go off on their own. So I don't know how to fully answer that question other than, no, I didn't think that, because as it was happening, I was like, no way, it's happening right now. So I'm going to have to probably answer it as, no, I didn't see it coming. But I did envision a world where they were no longer going to be together after Paul Heyman's comments.
They were very... So, E, did you go back and watch the show? Or just bits and pieces of it?
Oh,
you did? Okay.
Yeah,
so,
I was just spoiled early on. I knew...
So you kind of saw...
I knew that was going to happen, yeah.
So they were really heavy-handed
throughout the
show, which is great, right? Like, you'd rather have that than sometimes where you don't get anything. You're like, where the fuck did that come from? Why did they do that? Like, that doesn't make any sense. So I appreciate at times where they are heavy-handed to show the clues, because then it's just like, okay, that makes sense. When Seth came out and cut his promo, I believe maybe in the beginning of the show, I said out loud, I don't know, Rhodesia, if you heard me or not, I said the Vision is about to be done. He was just real heavy-handed about, I don't need nobody.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that. Yep.
He was heavy-handed throughout the entire show, like with his promos about he doesn't need anybody, and you know what I'm saying, and I did this on my own, and you know, that was his theme throughout the entire night. But I will say, as far as I do like the way they ended the show, right? Because they ended the show with all four of them with their arms in the air, right? And then we saw the credits rolling. So, you know, a lot of people may, at that point, either start checking out, maybe turn it off, and then all of a sudden, boom, almost right when the show's about to end, here comes Brian with the spear, right? And then we saw what we saw that happen at the end. I think that if I hadn't been spoiled, I might not expect it, because, like, again, they were really heavy-handed with it, like, right? But just following the story, it seemed like that wasn't the right time. And
they still, we noticed from NXT Triple H, right? That damn goodnight graphic don't mean nothing until they fade to black. We don't know what's gonna happen. Right. We've had plenty of magical moments, especially after NXT. We've seen that, and they still can do it right. Because to your point, almost down to, like, I'm sure if we had a timer, right, a shot, whatever they call that thing, where you can just see what the time is, stop clock. I'm sure if we had a stop clock from the time they show the graphic to the time they typically go fade to black, it probably was almost to the second when he hit that spear. Yeah. Because to your point, I didn't see it either at that point. I'm like, watching the show, I'm like, yo, this faction's about to be over. And when they all come out there, I'm like, okay, there's still an opportunity with the Punk thing. I'm like, I don't know how you do it, but there's an opportunity here. When they all put their arms up, I was like, okay, this is still the perfect opportunity, because he can now spear him. But arms go down, we get the graphic. They start walking, boom, and then they hit. I was like, that's good shit.
So they had it. So Seth was still up when they put the fingers up. I can't even remember all of that. Wow.
Yep, it was good shit. I like it. Last thing on SmackDown, I had to say, shout out to the Damian Priest. I think rightfully so, truthfully so, have said at times, like, man, there's just something missing at times with him and his presentation. Nothing with his work. But when it comes to his work, I don't think he's missed whenever he's been in a big match spot. You know, he had a couple of iffy matches when he first became champion. Remember on those pay-per-views then, but then he got it together. But it seems like, for me, every single time he's in a blow-off match or in a big match in a feud, the match delivers, like, in a big, big way. And I thought him and Aleister was a great match.
I didn't get to see that match. But again, like I said, it was like 2 episodes of Damian. Like, I don't know, like if he's on his period or something, but it was like he was getting his legs wrapped up in men go through periods too. It's just they're not bleeding. So, well, they could be bleeding. Just y'all probably need
internally.
To get checked out. Yeah, you got to get checked out if you're bleeding.
Hey, listen, I might be having mine right now. I told the team earlier, like, my Crohn's disease is in full display today. Aww. And I came on here bloated, and actually, I didn't anticipate putting this jacket on, but I'm like, man, I feel so bloated, and my tummy is poking.
Oh man,
I'm like, I gotta hide it for the show,
on his period.
Yeah, man. So Rhodesia, you.
But yeah, besides like those couple of episodes, it was like, dang, Damian, you got to figure it out. Is it the pressure? Like, what is it? Other than that, you're right. His work is great. It's always going to be a good to solid to great worked match, always.
I did see the match actually, and
what do you think?
I thought it was a really good match. I have some things about the Black and Zelina pairing.
Okay,
I like it. I felt like Black needed something. He shouldn't, but I felt like he needed something. So going back to him, I liked he came back out with the mask. I thought that was a cool look and everything he had in AEW. I felt like I wanted to see that presentation brought to the AEW, like with the mask, and like I felt like the Malachi Black entrance was a little cooler than the Aleister Black entrance a little bit. especially with the black and him fade into the ring, then the mask and all that presentation. I think that's I like that they're trying to mix those elements. So I like that. The match itself was really good. I like Zelina coming out. Right? I gotta get out. Zelina coming out with but here's the thing. You know what I didn't like? So we talk about Road Dogg. Like, for me, creatively, that show has not been what it needs to be for some time.
It sucks.
Like, right? So typically, the person in charge is the person that gets changed. So the fact that they kept him there and they're bringing in pieces or taking look, he has been present and ahead of everything that's happened there. The fact that he's still, I'm not saying the man shouldn't have a job. You can reassign his man, right? You can put him in a different position. I'm not saying take no bread out of his pocket. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that he's still leading the creative and some of the poorest creative that I've seen on that show in years is very interesting. But with that being said, I don't like some of the direction that they had with the two there, right? I felt like when Zelina came out there, she handed Aleister Black like the fire. But they didn't really talk about it. Like, right, they barely showed it. You know what I'm talking about, Matt? Like, when she came out there through the crowd, she got in front of them, you can see her kind of passing them something, but they did it kind of really discreetly, and they didn't really mention or talk about it, right? I feel like maybe they should have played that up a little bit, right? The further go into that, you know
what I took that as? I took it as maybe we weren't supposed to see that she gave it to him.
Okay. That's maybe they can go with that, right?
I took it as, yeah.
But so then we get an awesome finish. I thought the finish was very creative and pretty damn cool.
Yep.
Like, right, and they hit that finish like perfectly, right? Like the fire spot. Boom, he did it almost flawlessly. Like, right, I'm not sure how many times he's actually used it or if he was practicing, whatever the case may be. But we've seen people use the fire in the past, like Hogan did a couple times in NWO back in the day, and he missed the dude. Or we've seen people miss it and not look good multiple times. But Malachi, boom, hit it, looked great, right? And then he hit the black mass on him, like crisp. Malachi falls off the trash compactor, whatever they're standing on, goes right through the table. I thought like that sequence was like those competitors did that perfectly, right? Here's what I didn't like. Okay, now Black and Zelina are standing there, and they're looking like they're kind of worried. Like, right? They're looking at each other, like, right? Like they don't really know what happened, or they're kind of just watching because like they don't know. Like, to me, them pairing together and what they did should have been made a big deal. I would like to see them look a little more sinister and menacing.
Sinister, like, kind of what like Karrion Kross and Scarlett would look like in that moment if you put them in that. Right. I could see that.
Like, look what we just did to this man. Like, right? That. Yeah, I just threw a fireball on this dude. I'll black mask him through the table. I'm the baddest MF on this show now.
I'm about to watch that again because like, you're right in terms of their look wasn't the look of haha we got him. But I didn't take it as
they looked like they was kind of concerned a little bit, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna go back and look at that.
That's just a lever, like a small like level of detail that I think would have added to making them more menacing going forward, right? Because when you do something like that, like how the angle, and you have a parent, that's almost like a rebirth for like characters, right? Going to their next stories, like right. They should have came out of that looking like these menacing, dangerous heels. Like, right? In the last picture I saw, they looked like they was concerned. Like, damn, did we do the right thing? Is he okay? Damian, you all right? Like, right? Instead of looking like, yeah, mother.
Maybe it was
got
a
what
shoot.
you deserved.
Yeah, maybe they made him.
Maybe it was a shoot.
You got what you deserved, right? So here's the thing with the fire. So now it was discreet, right? So now they look menacing, right? Zelina looked like I was a mastermind. I had this all planned. So now we go on SmackDown next week. She's talking about what she did. She's bragging about what she did, but she's going to most likely do anyway. But I just feel like just from a director standpoint, that was a miss. They didn't have focusing on the way having them look menacing after the fact.
I can see that. Like, I didn't watch it. I just saw that still pics and the stuff toward the end, that level of concern look. And you're right. And is it fair that I'm constantly comparing her to her Andrade days.
Yes.
I don't know if that's
they said
unfair
Andrade
or
missing.
not.
Like legit.
Point,
They said
no.
yeah, like they said he missing.
Well,
So
okay,
I don't know
well,
like I don't know if
nothing like
his
to him.
AEW contract is like in limbo again, but they mentioned him once. We saw him on TV, and I guess they haven't mentioned him. I saw part of Collision. I didn't see any of Dynamite last week being gone, but I know they didn't mention him. I think the week before that, and I guess he's been getting like canceled off of bookings and such. So something's up with him. I don't know what it is, but
you know, it's funny. He's supposed to be here in Atlanta. I think it's this weekend or next weekend for a Lucha Libre show.
Okay,
and he's canceled from that event.
Mm.
You know, and I didn't think about it actually because I tried to watch Dynamite the other day. I fell asleep, but I don't remember him being mentioned. And they had the 40 people in the whole family,
right? Yeah,
and he was the 41st person, and he was missing. So I wonder what's going on. I hope he's not injured or it's like a contract thing. Because and we didn't say about it. Like they say that one of the reasons why he got fired was due to multiple bonus violations.
Well, we don't know what that was. It may have been PEDs.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it could have been some crack. Maybe.
I don't think
he don't do
crack.
He ain't
crackhead. No.
But it would make sense. No, I'm not gonna do that to Tony.
See?
I'm not gonna do that to Tony.
No, cokehead. Crackhead.
We're not doing that. We're not doing
that. What I wanted to start the show with, if it wasn't for Seth Rollins being injured, if it wasn't for the Vision breaking up, and we went on the whole Rich Holland, that's crazy. Rich Holland was in Seg 1 of our show. What I wanted to start with.
No, Rich Holland wasn't in it. It was these evil, greedy ass people in power who be trying to take and then not look out for the people that's making the money. Continue.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. The whole world thinks I can't do shit on my own.
What?
When he dropped that line, the goosebumps came. Because that, once again, this is why we have to hold their feet to the fire. I don't expect every storyline in wrestling to be at the level of Bloodline, to be at the level of what we got with Division, to be at the level of anything CM Punk does typically because he hits home runs and all of his shit. Hangman and Swerve. I don't expect everything can be at that level. But when you think about the detail and clarity of what this Bloodline stuff and what Roman stuff has been consistently throughout these 4 or 5 years, and everything hasn't been a home run grand slam, but we ain't had no strikeouts either. And to me, this is starting to cook up again. When he hit that line, the whole world thinks I can't do shit on my own. When nobody's really talking about that right now. But it means something to him. And I'm going to take this side of Roman's a babyface.
You have to.
But there's a lot of people online who was just like, see Roman still being disrespectful to his cousins. He never changed. He's still a heel. I saw a lot of that.
Maybe they didn't hear it. Maybe their audio setup didn't pick up that.
I'm going to take this as he's the babyface in this. Imagine feeling like, and we knew the pressure he put on himself to be the tribal chief, all that kind of stuff, right? I got to hold my family up. I got to push my family forward. It is all on me. It is only on me. I am the number one because I have to get, that's what I've been anointed by my father and the father's fathers and everybody else. But the word out here on the street is, I can't do this on my own. And when I'm going to do it on my own, when I'm starting to try to do it on my own, I don't do it on my own because my cousins that I told to not interfere, Jay, worry about your own shit. You need to go get that championship. Jimmy, you need to be more like your brother. He's more like me than he is you because he won the championship. What have you won? When I try to do it on my own, they show up and I lose. The only time this decade Roman Reigns has gotten pinned outside of Cody Rhodes was Bronson Reed. Think about that for a minute. Right? But then we get to the story arc of this and why this only works if we win. Even that line. Yeah, we was doing all this interference and bloodline rules matches before, but we were winning, so it works. This shit don't work right now with y'all coming in and interfering, and it backfires because we don't win. I had tweeted it after they were all said and done with the match. Match was great. And also the other thing I think that works so well too, and this is really kind of going like deep behind the curtain. I just thought about, like, in my eyes, Roman's the babyface in this said story. Roman was overly babyface in that match. And I was watching him and I'm like, I don't know if he's trying to play some politics games of whoever is going to follow him. He feels like, follow me. He was doing stuff with the footballs. He was doing a lot of crowd work. I mean, he was in his bag, right? That match kind of gave you everything that you really wanted from a Roman Reigns style match. Roman kind of has this thing. We know what that's going to look like. And he was really overly in babyface mode. Also to help Bronson Reed too. But what that did was that set up the finish even better. Because there wasn't anything anybody can show from that match where it'd be like, oh, Roman Reigns is the same asshole that he's been. So when he drops that line of the world doesn't think I can't do shit on my own, I want to see you all to Christmas, right? When he does all that, it doesn't come across really as Roman Reigns ain't changed. It comes across a little bit differently, especially because of the change in Jey Uso over the last month or so. Michael Cole made a comment, I think it was on Raw, where he said something about Jey finally is thinking about more people than himself. Those are the layers that I talk about where I'm like, don't give me crap and tell me that is great.
Right.
Give me this, because this is meticulous. This is really taking time to peel back even more layers and give it to us the way we want it. I thought it was great. I thought it was great, man, all across the board.
I can't follow that as far as how exciting it was in that commentary with Roman and his twins. But what my notes here was just that Roman was having fun. So to your point, like the football thing, like Roman was having fun. I felt for a moment like this was either a commercial break and or a house show, like when the talent just having fun out there. And this is a good side and a good thing to see in Roman, that he's able to live in that space and still be as big. And maybe as bigger, but I don't think he would be ever as big as the bloodline Roman. Maybe if more people liked him, he could probably be bigger, but it's great to see that, 2 years later, from that. I'll leave it at that. One quick thing I'm talking about, just like how great Paulie is, like how great like Raw has been with threading storylines and stuff like that. I just have to call out when Paul told Bronny's like, listen, even if Seth is on the top rope, hooting, hollering for y'all to come out and run out to this ring, y'all don't come out to this ring. And I just thought that was just so cool because of how that followed that situation with Roman. Like, it was really, really cool to see. And that although things has changed and they are not feuding with each other, they are still somewhat connected, talking about Roman itself. Like, outside of Roman and Bronson fighting, like I didn't see Roman really fighting them much longer after this. But for them to be able to blend that in and say, no, don't you go back, don't go out there. I don't care if Seth is coming and asking you to come out there. Don't you go out there. I thought that was pretty cool.
And I love that he didn't even call for it. I thought it was going to be a spot to where that match where he's in trouble. He does, wave over from the entrance ramp and nothing happens. But then it also may tell us where his character is going to go. See, but that was before he got injured.
Right.
So, but yeah, I did think that was great.
Yeah, on the show last week, Brandon had asked me, because I had pretty much said that there's no way that Bronson will win that match. Like, Roman is the overwhelming favorite to win that match. And Brandon was like, hey, in what world could Bronson, win the upset? I'm like, well, if they do the interference spot, like, right, I'm like, the Usos, they're not in any matches. There is a storyline, and the WWE likes to run storylines in their matches. I can see them coming out and costing Roman, and end up happening that way, right? And it makes sense from a storyline perspective. And as you said, like, to see what's going on with Jey, right? They're adding just layers and layers and layers to like these characters, which is going to be cool. I feel like this is a phenomenal like storyline piece. And I think I love what it's doing for Bronson. I think like they're doing some low key they're sending these guys. Like,
okay.
Right? Okay, you think about what Bronson's doing. Like he has a win over Roman Reigns. He's now dubbed the new tribal chief. Like, right? He's a tribal chief now. He beat the tribal chief, right? He's Samoan. I guess he could have that title. So that says a lot about his credibility.
Mm-hmm.
You think about his character on Monday Night Raw, like, right, when Brian Breaker walked up to him, like, man, either you're with me or you're not. And you thinking like the way Bronson like the way he reacted to the whole thing, like, right, when Brian speared Seth, like, it's almost like Bronson didn't even react. He looked down at Seth on the ground, looked at Brian, like, right, looked back down, looked at it again. It was like no reaction to him, like, right. And so then when he made his decision, like, I'm with you, right? It doesn't seem like he's like a follower. It seems like he's making his own decisions that are benefiting him. So at the point in time when he's ready to break off and do his own thing, he's a ready-made man and also a monster heel as well. And this is just I know this potentially is about Brian Breaker, but Bronson is being ascended as well in this type of thing. And him having that win over Roman is going to allow them to call back to another match. It's going to allow him to have some credibility into some of the other, main eventers on that scene. I thought it was great for everybody involved from a storyline perspective and for a positioning perspective going into the future with this.
The ball's been passed to Bronson, man. 100% it has. And I love the fact that final segment on Raw had Heyman's fingerprints all over it. You brought up Bronson's reaction when Braun hit the spear. Heyman coached the hell out of Bronson and how to react, because he didn't sell what happened, but you could see his gears turning. And then when Braun walked up on him and said what he said, it was not immediate. It was not immediate.
He was calculating what he had to do. He was pulling out Steiner's math.
To what you said, E, I'm the tribal chief, right? I've been hyped up by Seth Rollins in this promo. Heyman's already put me over. No, I'm with you. Let's do this. That's good shit. I'm real time calculator. Right, yep, good shit, man. Like, yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome. So I'm interested to see. Roman said, "Don't even show up to Thanksgiving. I don't want to see you till after Christmas." That is
he said until Christmas.
I'm sorry, that was very
specific. He's going to show for Armageddon.
What day is Christmas?
And you know what, man? Not to the dog pile on AEW, because I think that Thursday. AEW is put on some good programming. I think their show they're much better now than they have been in the past like year or so. But when you look at WWE, like, they're constantly elevating like their talent, kind of pushing them up. Like, right, we're seeing it in real time with Bronson. We're seeing it in real time with Brian Breaker. There's like if Dave is right, where this whole Vision thing was about, elevating, Brian up to card, like, right, and then they're, Heyman's fingerprints is also helping bring Bronson up too. Like, you think there's so many talent on AEW roster that just kind of, they get to a certain place, they plateau, and they fall down. Like, right, so many of their young talent that should be moved up higher in the card and have a higher overall appeal, and just in wrestling in general. It's like they get to a point and then they drop, right? Where that doesn't happen in WWE very often. Like, right, you don't look at a Brian Breaker and be like, oh man, you know what? He was getting to a certain point, but like now he's fell back down and he's going back down to the ICS, where like you see him slowly moving up. You see Bronson slowly moving up. You see a lot of guys. Honestly, even LA Knight, to be honest with you, and he's an older guy, and I would say he's a younger talent, but I felt like the work he's been doing over in Raw for the past couple of weeks, I feel like he's been elevating his status within the company to a degree.
He's bigger than what he was on SmackDown. He's bigger than what he was on SmackDown. Yep.
Jay Uso is another big one.
He's
like,
right? Well, hell, even Jimmy's
got another one, right?
Jimmy's, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But you know what he is? Like, I think it's just different philosophies, man. Like, I was watching, it's funny too. It's WWE is at a point right now, like, I'm like, as soon as I think I'm out, they pull me back in. And that was what these last 3 shows were. I have not really been super high on WWE. Hell, Brandon sent us a text in the group thread maybe last week where he's like, man, like, am I the only one that kind of not really disengaged from the product, but not watching as much as I used to? I was like, no, you're not. And he's like, man, I don't know if it was because of football or like what's up. I'm like, no, it's the quality of the shows. We were on such a high 2 years ago. We knew we couldn't get too much better than what we were getting, but they have had cracks. We've talked about the cracks. And I still think there's an opportunity in the next 2 months or so for Tony Khan, when we do our year-end awards. For me, he still maybe could win Booker of the Year over Triple H. And that was not a thing the last 2 or 3 years. But I think it's different philosophies, man. I was watching Dynamite a couple weeks ago, and it hit me. And I was like, you know what? It's hard for me to... And that's why I haven't really brought up AEW, because I've enjoyed what I'm watching, but it hasn't been must-see TV since All In. It just hasn't been, right? Like, you watch, you're going to enjoy it. It's good. But I don't... If I'm busy, okay, I can miss it, and I'll be okay. But I think that's fine because they are enjoying what they're doing. I'm not talking business. I am talking the perspective. Take Kenny Omega. This is a perfect example. Kenny's working a 6-man tag tonight. If you are listening to this on Wednesday, I believe it's a 6-man tag. Why Kenny is in a 6-man tag match when I think Kenny should only be reserved for big matches at this point is beyond me. But if Kenny Omega says, you know who I really would like to work with? Jurassic Express. Let Kenny Omega work with Jurassic Express. As much as we may look at that and say, Kenny, you're being wasted. You only got so many more bumps on your bump card, dude, before you can't do this anymore. But if this is what they want to do as talent, or if Tony Khan, this is his company, he's like, you know what I really would like to see on TV, and I think it'd be a great match. And he puts together a match where we say, where's the build at? Why didn't they put this on the next pay-per-view? It's different philosophies, man. I just feel like it hit me on that episode where I'm like, okay, I got to kind of chill out with looking at this the way I would look at WWE, because I know WWE is about the stories and about the making money piece and about all that kind of stuff, where I think AEW is about, hey, man, we're going to put them banger-ass matches, try to top us on pay-per-view, and let the chips fall where they may. Of course, they want to have big shows. They want to have big gates. They want to have a ton of people in the crowd. But at the end of the day, if Swerve Strickland wants to take a whatever and hit himself over the head with it because that was something that he did 20 years ago and it's an ode to this, fucking let him do it and have a great time.
Hey, let me real quick before you, I just want to inject something. Just a thought. I think the Kenny Omega trios pairing, his body is so banged up right now. It might be easier on his body for him to kind of hide in a tag team match or in a 6-man to actually have to be the Kenny Omega that we expect him to be, wrestling a full out match, right? He can probably do his thing in shorter spurts in a 6-man match versus a full attack. Because when he said that, think about what he has to go through to get his body ready for a match and how his body feels after a match. Right, I would probably say this is probably maybe something safer for him, just to kind of be out there and be a presence, but not have to do as much in the ring. I'm sorry, Rhodesia, go ahead.
That was exactly what I was going to say. I don't think Kenny can have singles matches like that anymore. We saw his last single match. We saw how that turned out. It's still what I said was like a love letter to wrestling fans. Actually, that wasn't even a singles match. That was when everybody in the cage match. But the one before that, we saw how it didn't live up to our expectation. I don't think Kenny can do it anymore. And that is not any like shade at him at all to what you just said and what he has said. The videos I used to watch on him before he had got fixed, like this is how his body is beaten up. Yeah. I don't even want him wrestling in the trios matches. Yeah. I just want him being healed. But if this is giving him life and it, wrestlers, we talk about this all the time, got to be a screw a little loose up there because they still want to put their body through pain. Yeah, I think that this is probably all we are going to see of Kenny at this point.
I was watching damn, it had to be UFC maybe. Oh yeah, it was UFC this past weekend. I was watching UFC and I had told Rhodesia E. A lot of times, like with fans, we have a different perception about athletes. Perception of, hey man, you made enough money, time to give it up. Hey man, you a couple steps slow, go out gracefully. Hey man, it just ain't working for you no more. You need to go ahead and hang it up. And I think so I was watching UFC and they were talking on the commentary, which were fighters, and the guy just wasn't letting his hands go. And you could tell they were a little frustrated with him in the final round because they're like, man, he's got to do something. He wasn't letting his hands go. Now, for us, we look at that and say, oh, well, he ain't letting his hands go because he don't want to get knocked out. For fighters and athletes, they're looking at it like, man, if you get knocked out, you get knocked out. But you got to go out on your shield. You got to do what you can do to fight. If you lose, you lose. Ain't nobody looking at you any differently. If you lost, everybody loses. And like, it kind of took me to like the wrestling perspective of, we would talk about like, man, just give it up. Just give it up. But what if they can't? Like, what if this is the reason why I am living right now? Like we see football players talk about it all the time, and I'll die on the field. Like, I'll die on this sport. Like, this is what brings me joy. So I think that's kind of like the part we don't think about sometimes of, this is literally what brings this person the most joy in the world, is doing this. And it could be wrestling, it could be any other type of sport, it could be whatever. And if you take that away from them, what's my sense of living now? What's my sense of belonging?
You took my purpose away from me. And
if they don't have that answer, if they haven't found something else, no, I'd rather just die doing this. Because I went out doing what I love. It ain't about me dying, it's about I went out doing what I love. And not to say I hope anybody in wrestling dies, but outside of the wrestlers that are working, the conventions or the indies because they have to, right? They didn't do well with the money, or they got screwed out of their money, so they literally have to work every weekend to still keep the lights on at home. I think for me, it just kind of changes a little bit of the lens that I look at some of these athletes when we look at somebody and say, man, if they would have just quit 2 years ago, they'd be known as like one of the GOATs or one of the best. It ain't about that though. No, I still have fun doing this. I still want to do this.
It's interesting that you say that because maybe pivoting to this next match, like AJ Styles, I can't believe a dude that looks like he looks and wrestles the way he wrestles is ready to walk away from this next year. Like, right? Because he still wrestles like AJ Styles. He still looks like AJ Styles. He doesn't seem like a dude that's near retirement. And just going into that match to say, I don't have a lot to say about the match. I'm sure you guys
come on.
Yes,
you do. Yes, you do.
I don't have a whole lot to say about the match.
Put him over.
I was, like when John Cena matches come on, I immediately start doing something. I was like, okay, cool. I can go ahead and do this. I can go ahead and do that. But it was a very entertaining match.
There we go.
It was a big tribute to a lot of different things, and it was kind of fun as a fan to kind of say, oh, I remember that spot. I remember this. But a lot of spots, I'll be quite honest with you, I wasn't familiar with a lot of the ROH stuff that they did. That AJ Styles was kind of doing as a tribute. When he hit the Sweet Chin music, I'm thinking that's a Sweet Chin music, but it was like, no, that was a spot from a James Storm match. But James Storm's got that spot from Shawn Michaels. But I guess it was just kind of a cool homage to like the tributes. But I think they put on a better match than I expected them to put on that evening. But just going back to it, like AJ Styles is like a dude that's ready, that looks like he's ready to hang it up, right? He doesn't. He doesn't like John Cena. Oh, I can get it, right? I understand. Like, but AJ Styles, I know he's like, 48, 49, man. Like, he can go for another 3 years if he wanted to.
I don't want to talk too much on this part of the match because I know Matt's going to just wrap it up and put a bow on it so beautifully. Just like how from the beginning when they first came out, I'm going to leave that all to you, Matt. But I really enjoyed this match. And a lot of the finishers, I didn't quite know what it was. I knew they were finishers. I didn't know like the whole full backstory to all of them. But the point is, it goes back to like the getting people into the match and engaged in new storytelling in the ring. I didn't have to know what you just said there, that it was not necessarily Shawn Michaels, it was the other guy. I don't know who that person is. I don't know about that there, but I was there for it. And to me, I just thought that match was just so awesome. And just to say, like, I was kind of against it, maybe, this AJ Styles and John Cena. I think I was just more of like, I didn't think that the fans was the reason why John Cena and AJ Styles got the match. So I think to me, I just had a level like, okay, you're about to watch this. I know AJ's going to go, but to see that, hindsight being 2020, I would felt robbed seeing what I saw in that match. And then if I had to replay life over again, not seeing that match, I'd have been like, dang, I really missed out on something that was really, really good.
We just talked about AEW a little bit, and this build was and I hate to even say that, but when AEW wasn't their best, this is the kind of build we would get one of their big matches on pay-per-view.
Yep.
Right, a week or two before the show, they run one angle, and then all of a sudden we get the match. This John Cena run, we know, has been underwhelming. It has had some pretty high highs and it has had some significantly low lows. But at this point, with 4 appearances left, when that John Cena music hit, that shit goes out the window. It doesn't matter what happened in April of last year in a promo segment with Randy Orton. It doesn't matter what happened in the one appearance that he had on Monday Night Raw where we thought he could have done this and he didn't do that. When that music hits and you see those thousands of people in the crowd with those t-shirts on.
Them yellow shirts was crazy.
That's what matters. That is all that matters. When John Cena is in the ring doing everybody else's finishers as a tribute to them, doesn't matter how bad this heel run was. And we're going to talk about this heel run, like I said, after it's all said and done. And maybe it is a consistent topic. Maybe we hit it once and it's over. But when we can get that magic that we got with AJ Styles and John Cena, and I was down on that build because there was no build. Oh, the fans picked it. Okay, great. But when we get this, we get AJ Styles doing shit. When we get the crowd calling for spots and Cena figures out a way to do said spot, of course he wouldn't do the 619, have AJ cut him off. You still got to call that. Right. And it is in the correct setting of the match. It didn't feel like, oh, that's not supposed to go there. Oh, you could tell they just threw that in. It is all in the context of how you do it. Logan Paul talked about how much of a John Cena was a master in the ring and how much he learned from him in their match, et cetera, et cetera. So when you get 2 of those masters in the ring, AJ Styles and John Cena, I don't think we shouldn't have expected anything less than what we got. And yeah, if you wanted to nitpick and say, oh, all they did was finishers, you damn right, and it was great. And it was fun as hell.
The emotion was there, the involvement, the engagement was there. And they told that story, like you said. I didn't just I put in my notes here, it was gimmicky in the sense of I'm just doing everybody's finisher, but it was done tastefully. It was done like almost like a great piece of art that was done here, which it was. But again, I know you probably might still touch on the whole even intros, but just when John Cena handed over the card that how he wanted AJ Styles to be announced, man, like I could cry just because how much he even respected AJ Styles in this moment. Like you're going to give him an amazing entrance, just like how you could call me the GOAT, greatest of all time, 17 never seen, whatever you call it. He made it important. And you said it several times. This run ain't about John Cena. This final retirement tour, it ain't about him. It's about everybody else. Like, I just thought that was just so beautifully done, so tasteful. And that, again, he respected AJ Styles on his way out as well.
And AJ got the final announcement, right? Didn't she announce Cena first?
Yep.
Think about that.
Yep. The level of respect.
And on top of AJ Styles had an interview last week where he talked about, I didn't think it was in the cards to wrestle John Cena because I know I'm slated as a mid-carder right now. This is AJ Styles, who is a top 10 worker on probably everybody's list. If we're talking just bell to bell working.
Yep. Saying
to himself, and he's correct, right? If you watch him on television, he's not in the main event, but feeling like, yeah, I'm not, I know I ain't gonna be one of Cena's guys. Like, I'm a mid-carder. So to have that feeling about yourself, and then to get the intro that Cena did for him, to get that match, and then to get them putting each other over at the end of it, man, come on now. Yeah. And people wonder why, like, we fan out and geek out over this shit. It's moments like that.
Yeah, it's real to me.
Yep, it is.
And that's somebody like me who can't even appreciate AJ Styles coming out in his attire. I didn't watch AJ Styles in TNA, but I knew that it was special. Of course, I didn't know how special.
Without a haircut, like
right? That's exactly. He has longer hair. Look younger because he has longer hair.
I need to get on that AJ Styles program. I'm getting on that shit. Rhodesia, well, you might as well keep talking because we might as well throw it to the Mark My Words correspondent that you are with Stephanie Vaquer.
Lord. Every episode, they are finding a way
they have
to
put
interview her
in her face. She worked and beat Tiffany Stratton. They went, yep, now we need to hear from you.
Yeah, she ain't even breathing hard. Dang, what did I say when she won?
Since you dropped that, Mark My Words, they've given her even more mic time. I love that.
I'm still 10 toes down on the whole mark my words because I am that. But when she won the crown jewel, I like, man, they're giving her everything. You know how I used to talk about Aaliyah used to have something on Vince McMahon. Yep. Oh my God, Stephanie got something on Triple H because they have thrown everything but the kitchen sink at her in a good way. But I will admit that after Crown Jewel and she was in there and toward the end when she came back out at the very end to get the final shot of both the champs, I'm like, you know what? I'm still there for her. Like she hasn't necessarily lost her not aura, it was what's the word I'm looking for? Like the mystique about her. I haven't lost the mystique for her yet. Like, and I thought that I would have. And especially every time you get a chance, they put the mic up. How's your daddy doing? She's ever talking about how her daddy's doing. All of that stuff. But I'm like, I gotta still hold down, mark my word. But I like this with her, and it is giving me a different side of her because at first, where I thought that I didn't think they would be able to do this. I guess that's probably what it was. I didn't think that we would be able to get somebody who, like a Stephanie, who was just as mystique, kind of a killer, like a pit bull type wrestler, and now can open up, start talking, and make you actually like her from kind of she's communicating. She's still vicious. You're still not gonna fuck with her. When you still see her interact with people, she still knows that she's ish. But she said, hey, I still want to fight the best fighter out there. I want you to give me your best. I'm going to give you my best. I just didn't think they could execute that. So that was the reason why I was scared for her winning the championship because I didn't think they could pull this off. So again, shame on me for not putting respect on Stephanie Vaquer's name, but still mark my word. But I'm impressed.
So for the new freaks out there, just so you guys know, the Mark My Word segment is Matt and Rhodesia's way of standing 10 toes deep on a hot take that they know they're wrong about, but they're too stubborn to come off that ledge.
I'm not stubborn.
So they end their statement with Mark My Words, which means that I know I'm wrong, but I'm not going to admit I'm wrong. I'm going to stand on it until I'm proven wrong. Which typically happens pretty quickly. But I thought about Rhodesia. I'm like, man, she just when I come off this poor Stephanie thing. Like, but we all knew. Like, man, like she has it. She has it in grows, right? And she's doing a little bit better than I thought she would do, to be honest with you. Because because I was like, man, like it's like how much can her it carry her? But she's like her English is getting a much, much better. She's becoming more and more articulate. When she speaks, you can really understand her. But more than understanding her, I feel like she's like her energy. Like I feel like her presence and everything about her allows her to like exude like what she's trying to say. Even though it may not always come out as clearly as she would want it to. But I feel like she has every tool possible. She's becoming a great champion. She looks great with the championship belts on them. Like the belt almost bigger than she is. But it looks good on her. She's doing a
titty
good
to
job.
coochie is where that belt is at. Titty to coochie.
I like that from titty to coochie.
Titty to coochie.
But this is a different type of show. That there would be the show title from titty.
I can't say it, but that's she coined it. She coined it.
No, I mean, and I thought the match was good. I hope all the women are healthy and happy. A lot of them are starting to lean out, and as long as it's healthy, I'm good with that. Hopefully, it's not stress related, and I don't want to spend time on that because. Hopefully they're healthy and it's not a health issue, but a few of the women on the roster is really starting to lean out. So I just hope they're all good for sure. But
one thing on Stephanie, I will say, so I can be again 20 toes down on my mark my word. I am now interested to see her as champion in a consistent feud with somebody else or her next campaign that she's in.
I hated
that's what I need
on Raw. Roxanne takes another pin. And then she comes out to, in essence, challenge Stephanie. And all of Roxanne's points were valid in a heel mentality mindset. She just took the pin. I hated that.
But I want to see that next campaign, that next feud. I want to see. Then I will pull back the mark my word. I'm still saying mark my word.
Give me Stephanie and Roxanne, boy. Give me that.
Those two ain't leaning out.
Give me that.
Yeah, but to your point, I felt like that was really weird though that she lost earlier and just comes back out.
Dog.
Man, you can't get a girl win. Like,
right?
Y'all gonna give me a PLE match? You know what I'm saying with those two, and I already know there's no chance that Roxanne's gonna win that because she's been losing like consistently like for the past week. Like, I don't know.
I do think we're on the cusp of a Liv Morgan return. Michael Cole brought her up on Crown Jewel, and I was like, huh? And typically they don't bring up people who are injured, even if you are telling them that they're the first champion or blah, 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 whoever, whatever, unless that person's about ready. So I think, mark my words, we'll see Liv Morgan in the next 30 days.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
That means she's never coming in, if that's the case.
Yeah, right. That means it's not going to happen, so please don't do that. But with that being said, though, you would think that she will be slotted as a baby when she came back. You know, she
has
get
to be.
that
Hell
cheer.
yeah.
But
she was a baby when she was a heel.
But all right, so now you got it would have been perfect them slotting her as a baby face with a heel Naomi as champion. Like, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now you got Stephanie, right, who was up and coming babyface. They're still kind of building. Like, she's not made yet. She's getting there. Like, right, but having her stand across like a Liv Morgan, who's also positioned as a babyface, I think kind of do her a little bit of a discredit a little bit. So do they immediately bring her back as heel?
I'm sorry.
The Judgment Day?
I'm sorry. I don't know if she's going to be a babyface. My mind went directly to the crowds behind her.
Yeah. Right.
She could be a heel. Look it down.
Right. Yeah.
He's still a heel, but the crowd's behind him. Yeah, you're right. But, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, so it seemed like they would slaughter, but
she's got to go back to Judgment Day.
Yeah.
And then allegedly,
or she has to attempt to go back to Judgment Day.
But prior to that, you know, they can tell a story with her breaking away from the Judgment Day, right? You know, Roxanne.
Shout out to Maxine too. She did a great job on the promo. Did you see her promo last night?
No,
she cut it. Well, probably we were watching internationally. Telling y'all, get a VPN. Get a VPN. But she cut a promo during one of the commercial breaks with Kathy. She's getting a title match next Monday against Becky Lynch for the title. And she cut a great promo. Yeah. You know, it was a babyface one-on-one promo.
I like
But she looked great. She, thanked the crowd for having her back. She showed fire. And, hey, I beat her once. I can do it again. This time's for the title. I mean, she did a really good job. So shout out to her. I remember when she was getting shitted on in them house show matches. Yeah. Remember that?
Yeah. I think y'all even talked about her on this show.
Yeah.
We may have. But, Brandon talked about it last week, man. Max did a really good job with that fire up. When she's firing up in that match with Becky. I mean, really good job. She had the crowd behind her. She had me behind her. So I'm definitely behind her. Yeah, but with Rox, like she could have been, with Dominic, like Liv kind of, is against them almost. But I thought about it. You think about it, that's the same storyline that Rhea had.
Correct.
Like they're gonna put, Liv in the same storyline
over Man again.
So I guess at this point, it makes sense for her to be slotted back with the Judgment Day.
So do we want to ask this now or later? Is it time for Dom to drop the championship?
Championship?
No. Let me rephrase that. Because again, whatever on those other, was it AAA? He has Lucha Libre.
He has AAA championship.
Whatever. Okay, AAA. No, his WWE championship. Is it time for him to drop it? I guess I don't know who he would really drop it to. Maybe that probably should be the next question. But do you think it's time for Dom to make a change? Or do you think, nope, he's still getting the pops. He still has the crowd behind him. Keep riding this until the wheels almost fall off.
Why would they change, though?
You don't think it's starting to be a little stale?
Man, the crowd loves Dom. Right, he has the crowd response, and I don't see anybody that's hot on his heels that he will drop the title to at this point. Like, I feel like he's already done the AJ Styles thing. I just think he'll revisit that. I don't think Rusev is ready.
But he is scared of Rusev, and Rusev is trying to come at him. I mean, this would be, I think, a great way to make Rusev, at least to me, like...
He ain't drop no damn title, Rusev. Gonna get out of here with that.
Yeah. But Dom is doing such a great job.
If we needed content, hell yeah, we could rock a whole segment out with that. We play devil's advocate, and
we had hour 30. Never mind.
Yeah, we'll need that, man. I did think about something watching Raw though. You could argue and say like WWE storytelling isn't good. It's not working because you look at somebody like Dominic Mysterio, who is a heel, and he gets one of the biggest now.
We talk about that all the time,
right? But isn't that interesting? Like back in the day, it was about the buy-in. You boo the heels and you cheer the baby faces. Now it's more about just who's the star. Stars. Yeah. Right? Stars make the world go around in wrestling now. It's just, I mean, it was just an interesting thing when I was watching, because I was like, somebody could watch this show and inherently say like, oh, the storytelling isn't working, because there's a lot of people who are doing bad things. This guy just used a hammer to win the match, and he got the second loudest pop of anybody on the show. Like, what?
I think it's more the fan base, though.
When the Vision comes out, they sing the Vision song. I mean, Seth's song, and they kind of boo Seth a little bit. Then they start barking, and then they pop for Heyman to say Paul Heyman, and Heyman to say something to disrespect the town, and then they boo. And it's really just it's a fascinating thing if you're not from the world of professional wrestling. I'm sure to watch a show and try to understand that kind of stuff, you'd be like, what the fuck is happening?
It's so
right
nuanced.
Now? Nothing
because,
makes sense.
Right. Because here's the playbook. You cheer for the good guy, you boo the bad guy, but then I actually go to the show and I feel the energy of these people who are like, why are you, wait, like you said, he just used a hammer. Wait, he just cheated. He just kicked him in the nuts. Like, why are y'all cheering that? And biggest pop of the night.
Babyface ain't do nothing wrong in the whole match. Babyface is supposed to be over. They booed Penta. I was like, damn, Penta, you going out bad, man.
Yeah, but it's the fan.
Yeah, right. Rhodesia, right. I mean, it's the fan base. Like, I don't think that their booking dominate to get pops. Like, right? Like you were thinking in a real world, this dude put a hammer in his boot. You know what I'm saying? To cheat. That's something that you wouldn't applaud. But these guys are clapping for it. Like, right? So I feel like with AEW, for instance, they would have their heels say things or do certain things to get a positive reaction.
Yep.
Like, right.
Right.
I feel like that's poor. I feel like that's poor book storytelling versus WWE. Like, again, with WWE, I don't think they're doing A+ storytelling. I feel like, again, we talked about Roxanne, losing and then challenging for asking for a title shot later on. I feel like that's stupid booking, right? Like, I feel like WWE's doing like B booking, but for the most part, for the basics, like booking heels and babies, I feel like they're doing that the correct way. I just feel like, look, the fan base right now, they're just, as you said, they're into the stars. It doesn't matter if you're a good star or you're a bad star. Like, if you're a star, if you're charismatic, if you're personable, they're going to cheer you.
Yep. And you brought up AEW. We won't have time to talk about Wrestle Dream, but very strong card this Saturday. Very strong card. It is a wrestling fans dream. That card they got together. Even if you say, hey, I know everybody who's going to win this match. I know Samoa Joe doesn't have a shot against Hangman if you feel that way. But they're going to go out their way, and this match is going to be great. So it's going to be a great show. I'm excited for it because it is 7 o'clock Central Time. So I'm hoping it's over by midnight. Hope it's over by midnight. The last thing, I think the only other match we didn't hit was the tag match. Io and Rhea and Kabuki Warriors. I thought it was a very solid, good work match. Wasn't much to it. To me, that match was all about Io and the Kabuki Warriors and Rhea getting a hot tag in her home country.
That's what I had. Yep, that's what I had. I had that Io got her ass whooped from the first to the 8th inning, and then Rhea comes in, blows the roof off that building with applause and cheers. And that's what I got from that match. But again, still good spots and stuff.
Right. But sometimes everything ain't got to be 35 minutes worth, you know what I'm saying? It's what are we here for? For Rhea to get her pop that she's okay, so how are we going to do that? All right, well, let's advance the story with Kabuki Warriors and Io. Set her up for the hot tag. 1, 2, 3, everybody goes home happy.
But man, Asuka is doing some of the best work she has done in the last several years. And I know it's because us fans are behind her too, but man, just I guess you probably didn't see it then. It might have been a commercial break, but just her being the heel. We talk about like how the heels are like getting cheered a lot, but like she's like heel. Like she's not saying little words to try to get a little pop for like cheers. She knows she's a bad girl. She slapped the shit out of Kyrie. Did you get to see that?
I saw everything.
Okay, so that was on regular TV then. But just all that, I think Asuka's doing some of her best work. She looks good too. She's kind of toned up some. I don't want to say slimmed down, but she toned up some. She to me, I just feel like got a new lease on life on her character, and I'm just really excited because again, Asuka's my girl. So to be able to see her in this kind of light and people are behind her, which she's always had a pretty good fan base. I'm just really excited to see.
I was happy she slapped the shit out of Kyrie. Like, shut your ass up, man. You don't shut up this family stuff. You're like, I can still, like, shut up. No, you can't. We don't whoop that ass like 4 or 5 times, man. It's over, man. It's over. I'm glad.
What was cool, what was great was that crowd reaction when she smacked her. And that's the first time this entire time I was like, ooh, this is working for Kyrie.
Mm-hmm.
It's really working for Kyrie in regards to when Kyrie finally snaps and pushes back. When they do it right, when they pull that trigger, that's going to be one of the bigger reactions that night on that show.
So you got another person of interest. So you added one more person, one more layer to just the women lineup. So that, again, I'm really happy about how they're booking Kabuki Warriors this time around versus the first time around.
Yeah. Overall, like I said, 5 thumbs up, 6 thumbs up on this show for me. And then they doubled up on Raw, which was a really strong show too. So nice job, WWE. Keep it going. You got SmackDown on Friday. Keep that momentum going into a lot of big shows. War Games, Saturday Night's Main Event, Saturday Night's Main Event with John Cena. Like it's a lot. It's a lot happening.
A lot of follow up. Yep.
Let's talk really quick about TNA. So I didn't get a chance to watch. I don't have anything to add for Bound for Glory. I want to shout them out for a couple of things. One, Rhodesia and I went to Bound for Glory last year in Chicago. Maybe 1,000 people, and that was sold out in the arena that they had. They announced 8,000. That wasn't a number. It was more like, I think, 5 or 6. But nevertheless, that's 6x.
Yeah.
In 365 days.
Yep.
Kudos to them. It shows, once again, the power of WWE for them to be able to be on that run. But what I wanted to bring up was the TV deal. I guess they're saying that the TV deal is imminent, the announcement of it for TNA.
So what's your question?
My question is, I am just going to go ahead and assume this said television show by TNA is going to be on Wednesday. And if so, thoughts?
I'm not going to get affected with my emotions again. Did not display high emotional quotient or high emotional intelligence earlier when I was going in on TKO and greedy devils up there. So I'm just going to say this is just another power play move that they're going to be doing to eliminate the competition. If you're not going to get down, you're going to lay down. So this is par for the course for them.
You know, it's interesting. They keep talking about this TV deal. And I'm like, man, don't you already have a TV deal? Like, you're already on TV. You're on Access every week on Thursday, right? So I'm assuming this new TV deal is going to be on a bigger network with more homes, right? Which is a big deal. Maybe it's CW. You know, and I know they floated around possibly running against AEW. And it's fascinating that you asked that question only because, you know, man, I know you're not into ratings anymore, but, you know, they have a new Nielsen rating system, big panel and big data or something like that. And it's kind of negatively affected wrestling in some type of way to where, like, some of the shows, NXT, AEW, for one, have seen a drop in their Prime demo. I mean, I think last week, I think AEW had like their lowest viewership rated by Nielsen. I think it was only like 400,000, maybe under that, something around that nature. So it's interesting if they put a TNA show up against them and it's heavily backed by WWE and propped up with NXT and things of that nature. And, you know, you can see AJ Styles popping up on the show. They would do something like that. They'll pull out some of those AEW originals or whatever the case may be. So if they're able to get, you know, 300, 400,000 plus viewers to watch that show, that's right aligned with what AEW is kind of drawing. Now, again, we don't know what the max numbers are. You know, Dave is saying that they're getting like 2+ million, you know, views, but they're already able to get that. But from a optics point of view, you got TNA that could potentially be doing the same ratings as an AEW, and just from an optics, I don't know that's good for like an AEW product as far as like how hot it is in the wrestling landscape that you got this other show doing similar numbers as you are, and there's like been a decline. So like, we used to look at people when people, unfortunately people are kind of followers. They're like, man, all right, this show is on a decline. I need to watch this show. And I feel like that's interesting because, AEW, they got a shorter deal, right? I think it's a 3-year deal or something like that, whatever. And there's options. And there's so much going on in the back end with Warner Brothers Discovery, potentially, selling out and potentially being bought by, I think, a Disney affiliate or something of that nature, right? So where now you got a AEW product looking to renegotiate their next deal. Like, what are they going to get potentially when they're getting lower ratings than they ever have, right? And like the shows that they're getting, and I would imagine that TNA, for instance, right, wouldn't command like a big money deal like AEW.
Well, hell, same with NXT, right?
Like, right?
Think about the deal CW got for the amount of ratings that they're bringing in now. So that, for me,
but you look at NXT, probably will get they're going to get an increase, I would say, right?
They don't have to. I mean, they gave a grandma discount to CW for that. But that's my worry. That is my worry. What you kind of just said to summarize it is, I think it's great for the wrestling business, but I think it could be potentially horrendous for the wrestling business. Yeah. Only from a perspective of if everybody is coming together and buying everything up, right? We're going to look up in about 5 or 10 years, and it's probably going to be 10 major players in the entertainment space.
Yeah.
So if WWE, TKO has this umbrella and they have these relationships with this person, that person. So when AEW's contract does come up,
you shut them out. You blacklist them.
Yep.
You get them out of there.
Don't touch them. Nope. Don't touch them.
Yep.
And now where does that leave AEW in the wrestling business?
Mm-hmm.
The more wrestling companies that are succeeding and doing well, the better for everybody, including wrestling fans. And I don't give a damn how hot WWE could be, as hot as they was 2 years ago, with the way the quality of the TV was every single week. Can't miss. I am locked in every single time. I'm watching everything live. I'm live tweeting everything. If they got that hot times 2, I still don't want AEW to go out of business.
Right.
No, because wrestling goes in cycles.
Sure does.
And for the wrestlers, we have been around for the monopoly when it was only WWE. And Impact was this little small blip. And you had some of the bigger super indies that may be on Access TV somewhere or somewhere else like that. It was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
I'd never want to get back to that. So if this deal, they get a deal and they go on Thursdays or they go on Wednesdays at 10 p.m. or it wouldn't happen. I'm all for it. The head-to-head stuff, I get part of it too is, hey, Matt, like, let's not forget where the fuck you came from. You came from Monday Night Wars with WCW and WWE and May the Strongest survive. And, hey, if you're not getting ratings and attendance, step your game up. I get all of that. I'm only looking at, like, the health of the wrestling business, and I would be worried about them just trying to alienate. And granted, Tony and the Khans have more money than a lot of companies, so I'm sure they'll figure it out. I just don't want no nasty business going around. That's all. I would just hate whenever that deal is up, word comes out that they can't find a deal that makes sense for them and puts them in a position to continue to grow. I would hate that.
Because you look at it like one of the reasons why AEW got the deal that they got is because they would position themselves as live sports, and other live sports were getting those type of deals, right? So they're able to parlay that. So like you got a TNA coming in there, and this is what their rate is, like, right? And they're getting similar ratings as you're getting.
Right.
Okay, this is probably what you should
your
be getting.
Your valuation is, yep.
Yeah, it's based on what this program is doing. And like, so it's concerning. Okay, you think about it, like, right? Because I asked you a question like a couple shows ago. I'm like, man, why would WWE be going out of the way to, put shows against AEW and kind of, right? So now they're putting shows against their pay-per-views. Like, right now you're putting on other television programs against their shows. This ultimately could be a play just to continue to devalue
stunt that growth.
To stunt where growth, 3 months from now, they're not an attractive looking property to demand the type of rates and show and programming. Which is why I'm like, man, look, I wish they would have got a lengthier deal before. They're doing a little bit better. to where like, all right, now we got this locked in for a solid 5 years. We can figure this thing out and continue to grow. But man, you think about 3 years is not a lot of time, man. Y'all, we about to sign off pretty in a moment. But I know you guys are into Demon Slayers and anime, but like Demon Slayers, I'm sure you guys have all.
That's insider. That's an insider right there.
I don't know.
I'm
it
a
sounded
Demon
like
Slayer.
so freaky that I don't want to get to.
No,
but
nothing freaky on that one, bro.
Like,
nothing.
I promise you.
But Demon Slayer is like I think the top grossing international movie of all time or something of that line. Is doing crazy. And like, so me as a fan, like, man, they're doing a trilogy, right? So the
is that a new movie?
It's a phenomenal.
I say, is it new?
New movie?
Yeah, Demon Slayer.
Demon Slayer. You must not. That must not be on your feed, man. It's a big deal right now. It's like the.
I'm saying, but is it new though, or did it just come out?
No, well, it's a series. It's an anime series that I think started in 2018 or 2019. Very popular anime series.
Anime, got it.
Probably one of the
All
best.
Right, man. You know what, E? I'm gonna do it.
You're gonna go see it?
You've been talking about anime, and I don't have a problem with anime. I just have never watched anime, but I know people get down on anime like we do with wrestling, like Marvel, like video games. This particular movie is 98% across the board in Rotten Tomatoes.
That's crazy.
It's like,
I want you to tell me what to watch. So you only got one thing for me to watch: anime. I want you to give me
and it
the
can't be
one
porn.
thing that I need to watch that is going to make me want to watch more anime.
That's a good question. I would say, I've said it plenty of times on this show that I watch so much anime, I wouldn't recommend everything that I watch. But I think if you wanted to see what anime was about, I think Demon Slayer might be a good entry point for you because of the visual, the animation is great, the character design, and I feel like the stories and characters are compelling. And
so it's WWE.
Fan. Yeah. But at a higher level. Because like
which one's number
Demon
one?
Slayer. So like
I'm saying
series,
which one?
Which mean?
Is there like, because there's like a Demon Slayer, the one that came out in 2025. I'm not trying to pronounce this. But it's Infinity Castle.
That's the movie that just came out.
Okay. So then what do I need to watch? Just regular Demon Slayer? Like episode 1? That's what I'm saying.
Episode 1. It came out, I think, 2018, 2019 or something like that.
Okay.
But I will say this though, because like my oldest son, Ethan, I took him because our good friend Fonzo just moved to Georgia. And so we met up and we went to see this movie. I brought my oldest son, who's 12, with me to go see the movie. He's not into anime, hasn't watched any of it.
Okay.
He watched the movie and loved the movie to where now he's actually on season 3 of the series. And he can't, like, we're watching together as a family. At one point now, when I'm not home, he's like, Dad, I gotta keep watching.
He going through it, huh?
He going through it. So like it was something that really grabbed his attention, and he's not really into shows like that. But this is probably the first show that he's really gotten into. Damn, why did I bring up that Demon Slayer movie? I don't know, lost my train of thought. I guess it's the perfect time to sign off. Great movie. If you're an anime fan,
that's
watch
hilarious.
Watch the show.
So yeah, I'm pulling it up. I'm gonna watch because you bring up anime a lot, and I know I would like it because I just know I would like it.
What was
and
that?
Shout out to Fonz too. Fonz finally switched over after 25 years from an Android to
he got the
iPhone.
blue bubbles.
I actually texted him earlier today to ask about his review.
Hey, the funny thing is,
yeah,
like one of our text groups together, I noticed. Well, actually, our text group we have just personally, I noticed he had like it was a thumbnail back there, like in our text group. It wasn't just all black; it was actually a picture. I'm like, bro, how'd you do that? He's like, what do you mean? He's like, you've had iPhone for all your life, and you can tell me if within a month I know more about your phone than you do. I'm like, hey, I only do one thing: I talk and I text.
And search the internet. That's it.
You see, he didn't say read his text; said talking text. He ain't reading no damn text.
Let
chat AI do all that.
AI, tell me what's going on,
boy. Oh boy.
Real quick on the chat, the AI thing. I got a text message earlier that I wasn't completely present with my phone today, and one of the recaps of the chat GPT or AI thingy, it was absolutely the wrong messaging. Like if I had just glanced at it and looked at it, that was not the intention of the message at all.
Yeah.
So they have some opportunity there. Because when I looked at it, I was like, huh? And I clicked it open and read it.
Spot
I was
on.
like, okay.
I've had like one or two.
No, this one was not spot on at all.
And I was like, huh? And then I opened up and read it. I was like, Okay.
So your AI don't love like you like it love me.
Yeah, they know that.
It tells me exactly what's going on now.
But you don't know, because you don't ever go into the fucking text message and make sure.
You don't know. Yeah, you
have
don't
zero
know.
idea.
Well, see, here's the biggest problem I mentioned on the podcast last week. Like, it gives me a summary what I need to know. But it's so. But
it could be wrong though, brother. Yeah. That's what we're saying. It could be wrong.
It gives me like that tidbit so quickly, like it's so right and so concise that I forget.
Concisely wrong.
I forget. All right, you give me 5 words. I forgot the 5 words. Like 15 minutes later, I have no idea what y'all talking about now.
Mark my words, I'm never reading the text message again. All right, y'all, we up out of here, man. We gave y'all an hour and 52. I was close to that 2-hour mark. I tried to get there, but I should just let you go on about Rusev, Rhodesia. We would have got to the 2 hours.
I miss y'all though. I miss y'all. I miss the fans.
No doubt. We back, baby. We back. So thank you, Brandon and E, holding us down last week.
Thank you.
On the pod and the show. We'll be back next week doing the same thing. And like I said, I promise we will talk about not long at all, because this is a wrestling show, but Rhodesia and I was in Spain last week, so that's why we were not on the podcast. That time difference, no way. They are, and shout out to all of our international listeners. God bless y'all.
Seriously.
I watched the Lions football game that was supposed to be on at 4:30 Eastern time. At the end of the game, it was like 1 a.m. I watched UFC last Saturday. I went to bed at 7:30 a.m. That's the time the show went off the air.
I was going to say the Tiger elimination game. We had to get ready for the airport when the game went off.
So y'all that watch these wrestling shows live and these pay-per-views, God bless. That thing's going to be there in the morning. It will be there in the morning. But we'll give y'all a little bit of tidbit on that. And of course, we're going to have a ton to talk about. We are going to Wrestle Dream, guys. Seriously. Yes. AEW's done a good enough job to where we can give them at least a segment next week about Wrestle Dream. So let's watch that on Saturday. Have a good time with that. And then see if they can follow up on SmackDown. Make sure they can follow up on that. I won't commit to that. Come on, E. Come on, man. Follow us on Twitter. That's FNW. TikTok. That's FNW. YouTube. That's Freakin Wrestling. Hey, we are almost at 900 subscribers on YouTube. Y'all. We are at 893 to be exact. Make a little bit of noise on TikTok. We got like 4,000 plus likes or something, but only like 100 followers. Shout out to everybody who does follow us, but man, put the word out. Every time we drop like clips, it's like 1,000, 2,000 views, likes, comments. Oh, hit that follow button. But then it's funny because like we don't have many followers, so like on TikTok you can see how many people have like viewed your profile. I get a notification 123 people have viewed your profile. Now look, we get 2 followers from it. It's like, yeah, but y'all want to hop on board though when y'all see the thousands up there. Like when we get to the thousands and tens of thousands, then watch everybody gonna go and then they're gonna press follow. But I appreciate y'all who just interact with us. It's all good. And I appreciate the haters too. We got a hater out there that every clip on YouTube that we post is a thumbs down. It don't matter if we got 23 likes or if we got 586 likes. It is one fucker out there who hits the thumb down every single time. But I appreciate you too, because that means that you at least locking in just to tell us we suck. So you're great too.
Kind of strange though.
We appreciate everybody.
That's kind of strange.
The haters and the appreciators. We love y'all. Oh, we out. We see y'all next week, man. Peace out.